folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Horror Corner. I'm your host, Sean Patrick Gershon, and this week we are counting down the top 10 Italian horror films. And obviously, these are just my opinion. You guys would have your own list, and I'd love to see that, so feel free to film a response. So I'm going to start off as I usually like to do, and that's with a couple honorable mentions. The first one being The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Yes, I was called out recently for my pronunciation of that, so I do apologize. It is The Bird with the Crystal Plumage. The amazing directorial debut of Dario Argento. Fantastic giallo film loaded with style and substance and a great murder mystery. Next up, we have the Italian slasher film Stage Fright from 1987. Yeah, there's a couple different stage frights, but this is my favorite one, directed by Michele Soavi. Great atmosphere in this film. Really creepy. I love the costume of the killer, too. Very creepy. Next up, we have City of the Living Dead from Lucio Fulci, part of the Gates of Hell trilogy. And this film is also known as The Gates of Hell as well. Absolutely brutal gore effects in this film. I love it. It's just crazy. It's insane, but I love it. Alright, let's get into it. The top 10 Italian horror films. In at number 10 is Nightmare Castle, starring the lovely Barbara Steele in dual roles, I might add. One of my favorite performances by her. It just got that old school gothic horror flavor, similar to the old school William Castle and Vincent Price films back in the day. It's got a great feel to it and a brilliant score by Ennio Morricone. Okay, next up is a film that's probably not going to make anybody else's list, but it makes mine. I just love this film, and it's Delirium, directed by Lamberto Bava. Yes, the son of the great Mario Bava. And this is just one of my favorite giallo films. It's like a super sleazy version of Psycho. But don't be fooled. There's some great style in this film. There are moments of brilliance. Next up, we have House by the Cemetery from the great Lucio Fulci. Once again, this is part of his Gates of Hell trilogy. And this is one of my favorites by Fulci. Some brutal gore. It's just a great mashup of horror subgenres. You know, you got the slasher in there, you got the zombie movie, you got the ghost movie, a haunted house film, all in one great package. And there's some moments of genuine fear in this film. Incredible atmosphere, great direction by Fulci. It's an awesome film. I love it. And probably the most fun Italian horror film of all time, and that's Demons, once again from Lamberto Bava, with the help of Dario Argento. Super fun film taking place inside a movie theater. What's better than a horror movie taking place in a movie theater? But I love the practical effects. There's amazing gore, amazing rock soundtrack there, you know, with Billy Idol and stuff. Really fun movie. Next up, we have probably my personal most watchable Dario Argento film, in my opinion. It's just my go-to. Whenever I want to watch a Dario Argento film, I always go for Tenebrae. It's just an amazing watch. It's the most rewatchable of Argento's films, in my opinion. It's just so well put together, so stylish. It's got probably a great 1980s slasher feel to it as well. Amazing kills, amazing gore, practical effects, and yeah, a brilliant direction by Dario Argento. Super, super stylish. Just a classic giallo in every sense of the word. Once again, Lucio Fulci makes the list. And that's The Beyond, also part of the Gates of Hell trilogy. And I think this is probably, from a creative standpoint, Lucio Fulci's masterpiece. It's just a complete nightmare brought to celluloid, you know? Amazing film, incredible visuals, incredible gore, brutal as hell. And again, like House by the Cemeteries, it's like a great mashup of the horror subgenres. You got zombies, you got haunted house stuff, and ghosts, and slasher stuff. It's got brutal gore, you know, it's amazing. Then, of course, you got Deep Red, probably ultimate giallo film, you know. And I think it's Dario Argento's best giallo film. Amazing, great gore, great stylish kills, you know. The kills in this film are like works of art, you know. They're so grand, you know. And brilliant direction by Argento. It's got a great murder mystery plot to it. It's just a perfect giallo film. Next up, we have what I feel is the ultimate Italian giallo film, and that is Blood and Black Lace, from the great Mario Bava, which I feel is the most influential film of his career. Even though it wasn't his first giallo, the first one is The Girl Who Knew Too Much, and that's credited as being the first official Italian giallo film. But I feel like Blood and Black Lace is the one that really set the standard for what a giallo should be, you know. Incredibly stylish, beautiful visuals, beautiful color scheme, incredible direction, and it's got that classic, you know, black glove killer with the long trench coat and the fedora hat. And he's got this awesome, like, bladed claw thing that he uses. Super influential in the slasher genre as well, you know. A lot of people don't talk about this one when it comes to being so influential to the slasher genre, you know. Some amazing kills. Fantastic film. I just love it. I think it's the greatest giallo film of all time. Next up, we have what I feel is my personal favorite of Lucio Fulci's career, and that is, of course, Zombie, or Zombie 2, or Zombie Flesh Eaters, whatever you want to call it. But absolutely my favorite zombie film next to Dawn of the Dead. And I feel like in some ways, this film is better than Dawn of the Dead. In some ways, when it comes to the actual zombie effects and the gore and the prosthetic makeups, I feel like Zombie is better than Dawn of the Dead when it comes to that. Super creepy film, too. I think it's one of the scariest zombie films as well. Awesome score by Fabio Frizzi. Yeah. Like I said, it's a fantastic film, and it has nothing to do with Dawn of the Dead, even though it was kind of thought to be the sequel to Dawn of the Dead, but they didn't need to do that, you know. The film stands on its own. Even George Romero said that, you know. But one of my absolute favorite zombie films of all time. I think it's the best Italian zombie film. And have to say it's probably no big surprise what number one's gonna be, and that, of course, is going to be Suspiria. I mean, what else could it be? Come on. Talk about a brilliant, brilliant film. It's incredibly visual, incredibly stylish. It's like a supernatural giallo, kind of, you know. Amazing visuals, and that's what this film was all about. It's more style than anything, you know. It's a little confusing at times, but amazing score by the great Goblin. That just brings so much atmosphere to it, and this is already an incredibly atmospheric film. It's incredibly scary. It's got some of the most brutal kills that you've ever seen, and it's almost like beautiful and brutal at the same time, you know. And that's a perfect way to describe this film. It's beautiful and brutal. It's almost like a dark gothic painting come to life or something, you know. It's amazing. Just a fantastic film, and I think it's the greatest Italian horror film of all time. Alright guys, that's it for the top 10 Italian horror films, and thank you for joining me, Sean Patrick Urshan, in the Horror Corner. Tune in and stay scared. Good evening, folks, and we got some brand new merchandise for you over at www.thehorrorcona.com, and that's CONA.com. Representing the Horror Corner. Great new design. We got the Morbid Hour live stream there, you got the Horror Hangout live stream there, and you got my nemesis, the Dark Fate. So grab your t-shirt over at www.thehorrorcona.com. And we also got this beautiful new mug. Look at that. Very, very cool. Thought that came out really nice. So grab your merchandise today over at www.thehorrorcona.com. Folks, don't forget to grab your Sean Patrick Urshan gear and represent the Horror Corner. Also check out these awesome mugs we have. Perfect for your coffee. And definitely check out the Horror Hangout live stream t-shirt and represent the legacy of the Horror Hangout. Check out the link in the description below this video.